Hello student, myself Ranjita Singh. In this video, we will study lesson number 1 of class 8, crop production. The chapter contains topics related to crop and agriculture, types of crops, agriculture practices that includes preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizer, irrigation, protection from weeds, harvesting, storage. As we all know, food is a very important necessary for all living beings. All living organisms need food to survive. Food is obtained from plants and animals. Thus, the branch of science that deals with growing plants and animals and raising livestock for human use is called agriculture. Thus, agriculture is not only the growing of plants, it also includes domestication of animals. Okay, so when we are discussing about this crop production, so first of all we should know what do you understand by crop. When plants of same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. For example, tea plantation that is done on terrace farming. Okay, maize, rice, wheat. So this is we call the crop. Agriculture, as I already explained you, agriculture is not only the process of producing food for feed, fiber or many other desired products by the cultivation of certain plants, okay, and raising of domesticated animals also is the part of agriculture. Types of crops. On the basis of the products, crops can be classified as cereal crop or grain crops. Example, rice, wheat, maize, barley, oat, pulses or legume crop, gram, pea, bean, oilseed crops, mustard, groundnut, soya bean. Fiber crop means from which we obtain fiber, like cotton, jute. We have started in previous class that plant fiber. Then root crop, sweet potato, carrot, tuber crop, potato, tapioca. And on the basis of season, crops are also classified into two. Basically, we say two and one more is there, that is called Zaid crop. Okay, that Kharif crop. The crops which are sown in the monsoon season in the month of June, September are known as Kharif crop. For example, maize, millet and cotton. The main Kharif crop is that we call it paddy. Okay, because the reason is that every crop needs different temperature, different water requirement is there. So there are the crops on the basis of season. Ravi crop, the crops that are grown in the winter season and harvested in the spring, that is from month of October to March, are called Rabi crops. For example, wheat, pea, gram, mustard. Zaid crop is also a category. Such crops are grown between Kharif and Rabi season, that is between March and June. Cucumber, pumpkin, bitter gourd, watermelon, these are the certain examples of Zaid crop. Now we will study the basic practices of crop production, or we can say agricultural practices, like those farmers, those who do the process of growing crops. So what basic processes they have to follow? First of all, they need a piece of land that is called field on which they have to grow the crops. And then what they have to follow, that steps: preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizer, irrigation, then protection from weeds, harvesting, storage. These are the basic 7 steps that farmers follow to grow the crops. Now we will discuss one by one all the steps. First of all, preparation of soil. Preparation of soil includes 2 steps. One, plowing, and second, leveling. Okay, so plowing, then applying fertilizer is also there. So plowing means, what do you understand by plowing? It means the turning up of the soil. The first step is the preparation of soil. That is loosening and turning of the soil. Okay, so this process of loosening and turning of the soil is called plowing or tilling. It is known as plowing or tilling. It has following advantages. It helps to turn the soil, looses soil, contains a lots of air space in it. This allows roots to breathe easily. Loose soil allows the root to penetrate deep into the soil. Thus, fixes the plants in the soil firmly. Now, we will study about some that tools which are used for the process of plowing. That is, we know that plow, that is P-L-O-U-G-H, plow is used for plowing the field. It is made up of either wood, it is called wooden plow, or iron plow. Then nowadays we are also using cultivator attached with tractors. It is an advancement. Due to the advancement of the technology, now we are using this cultivator. It is used in a large field and it is done by tractors. Saves labor and time. Okay. Now the next step of the soil preparation is leveling, and leveling is done with the help of a leveler, because once the soil is turned, it contains lumps, or you can say big pieces of soil. So it is necessary to break these lumps, or we can call crumbs also, so that the field is leveled. So it is done with the help of leveler before sowing the seeds. Now the next step is sowing of seed. Sowing, once the soil is prepared, seeds are sown. The process of putting the seeds in the soil is called sowing. Okay, so before sowing also we have to take certain care. And what is that? That before sowing, good quality seeds are selected. Good quality seeds are clear and healthy seeds of good variety. Farmer prefers to use seeds with a high yield. Due to the advancement of the technology, nowadays high yield seeds are available in the market. That helps farmer to increase the production. Now we will discuss about tools used for sowing seed. Traditional tools used traditionally for sowing seed is shaped like funnel. The seeds are filled in the funnel, passed down through 2 or 3 pipes having sharp end. This ends pierce into the soil and place seed there. Nowadays, tools used for sowing seeds, it is called seed drill. It is a advanced seed drill now, and it is driven with tractor. Okay, so this is the second figure is also showing a seed drill, one traditional method and one modern method. After adding seeds, or after putting seeds in the soil, we need to enrich the soil with nutrients, and for this purpose we have to add manure or fertilizer. Manure, what is manure and what is fertilizer? Now we will try to understand this. The process of, as we know, plants get nutrients from the soil. So soil supplies minerals and nutrients to the crop. These nutrients are essential for the growth of plants. So we add manure to replenish the soil with nutrients. The continuous growing of crops makes the soil poorer in certain nutrients. Therefore, farmers have to add manure to the soil to replenish the soil with nutrients. This process is called manuring. This process can be done in the step of soil preparation also. Some farmers, they do after leveling, they mix the manure in the soil. Okay, now we will understand what is manure and what is fertilizer. Manure is an organic product. It is made by decomposition of animal waste, dead plants, by the process that either by composting it or by vermicomposting it. Okay, so composting you have studied in previous class also, that composting means when this animal waste and dead remains of plants are decomposed in a pit. Bacteria and fungi present in the soil bring about decomposition and that get turned into compost. Manure is classified into three, that is farmyard manure, green manure, compost. So compost I have explained you, and then we have to study about farmyard manure. Means it also consists of animal dung, straw, leaves, and these all are collected in the field only, and these when decomposed used as manure. Green manure, it means using green plants as manure. In this process, certain plants are allowed to grow in the field after plowing, and then they are again plowed in the soil to decompose, and when these green plants decompose in the soil, they enrich the soil. So that is called green manure. Then fertilizer. Fertilizers are organic as well as inorganic, and they are rich in particular nutrients as they are prepared in factories. Mostly the common fertilizer used are NPK, that supplies nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium to the crop. Some other fertilizers and the nutrients supplied are urea, supplies nitrogen, CAN, calcium ammonium nitrate. So these are also the chemicals which are used to enrich the nutrients, which are used to enrich the nutrients of the soil. Now we will study what are the advantages of using manure. Manure is a organic substance. It is a natural substance, so it does not kill the microbes and the small living organisms present in the soil, and maintain the texture and water holding capacity of the soil. But fertilizer, as it is a chemical, so it kills the microbes and the small creatures present in the soil, and it does not improve the soil water holding capacity also. So if we talk about both the things and if we compare both the things, so manure are better than fertilizers. Fertilizers, they are rich in specific nutrients, but manures, they are not having specific nutrients. They are having all the nutrients in small amount. So it is needed in large quantities, and fertilizers are required in very small quantities. So here the comparison is also given between fertilizer and manure. That fertilizer is a man-made inorganic salt. Manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung and plant residue. Fertilizer is prepared in factory. Manure can be prepared in the field. Fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil. Humus means dead decaying matter. Okay, then manure provides lots of humus to the soil. Fertilizers are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Manure is relatively rich in plant nutrients because it contains all the nutrients in small quantities. Then vermicomposting is also one of the methods in which we use earthworms or red worms to do the process of decomposition, and the compost obtained is also very good for soil. It also replenishes the nutrients. Certain other methods which are followed to enrich the soil is crop rotation and mixed farming. Crop rotation means that in different seasons we have to grow different crops. Okay, because the different crops nutrient requirement is different. The fertility of soil is affected. So, for example, wheat or rye crop uses large amount of nitrogen from soil. This nitrogen can be replenished if the next crop grown is capable of fixing atmospheric nitrogen, such as leguminous plants. So the soil will get enriched with the nitrogen compound. So in this way, the practice of growing different crops in different season in the same field in rotation, so that the soil is not depleted of its nutrient, is called crop rotation. Now the next step we have to study, that is irrigation. Irrigation means supplying water to the crop in the field at specific intervals according to the requirement of the crop. Okay, because we know water is very important for all the living organisms. So for plants also water is very important, because with the help of water only all the nutrients are absorbed by the roots of the plants. And for the process of germination also water is very important. Then now we will study that what are the different sources of irrigation, means from where we can get the water for the purpose of irrigation. Fields are irrigated with the water of ponds, lakes, canals, wells, tube wells, rivers and dams. The water is supplied to the field by different methods. So here we can see we are having two types of methods, that is traditional method and modern method. Okay, so let's see that traditional methods of irrigation that farmers are using from years, and they are cheap also but less efficient. The different traditional methods are moat, chain pump, rahat, dhekli, etc. These are the common methods that the farmers were using. But nowadays, as we know that water is an important natural resource and we have to conserve also. So we are using the modern method of irrigation that conserves water. Okay, so modern method of irrigations are aimed at conserving water, and they ensure that water is equally distributed in different parts of the field. The two commonly used modern methods are a sprinkler system and drip system. You can see sprinkler system, figure is there, that in a sprinkler system there are perpendicular pipes with rotating nozzle on the top joined to the main pipeline at regular interval. A pump is used to allow water to flow under pressure in the main pipeline. From the main pipeline, water enters the perpendicular pipes and escapes from rotating nozzle, which sprinkles water on the crops. This system is useful on uneven land and in sandy soil, where sufficient water is not available. Then second method, drip system. In this method, water falls drop by drop at the position of root. It is economical method as water is not wasted at all. So these two methods are just the result of the advancement of the agricultural technology, and farmers can use these two methods and they are using also, and this helps to conserve the water also. After the process of irrigation, now when the crop is almost ready in the field, so we have to take care of that crop from pests and insects and weed. What do you mean by weed? Undesirable plants that grow naturally along with the crop are called weed. So why we have to remove these weeds? Because these weeds, they compete with the crop for getting the nutrients, water and sunlight. So it is very necessary to remove them. The process of removing weed is called weeding. Weeding can be done either by manual removal or by using chemical. That chemicals are called weedicides. Manually, weeds are removed or pulled out by hand or by cutting them with the help of trowel, khurpi, that is called khurpi, or a harrow. Then we can use certain chemicals that controls weeds. Chemicals which destroy the weeds but do not harm the crops are called weedicides. 2,4-D is a commonly used weedicides. Similarly, insecticides are used to protect the crop from insects. Pesticides are used. Insects You know insects, that small insects. Pests, they include rats, squirrels, all this. Okay. Now after the protection, after supplying water, after protection, now when the crop is ready, it is grown up, it is mature, then comes the process of harvesting. Harvesting means cutting of crops after it matures. Okay, so in our country we celebrate many harvesting festivals also. Okay, so this process of harvesting is also an important step of agriculture practice. It can be done manually with the help of sickle or by a machine called harvester or combine. In the harvested crop, the grains are separated from the chaff by the process of winnowing and threshing. Now when the grains are separated from the stalk, then comes this process is called threshing. That means the threshing is the process of separating grains or seeds from the cut crop. Then we have to remove the seed cover, that is called chaff. That these two processes are done with, that is known as threshing and winnowing. Then after that we have to store the grains very properly, and that step is called storage. That step is called storage. Fresh crop produce contains a lots of moisture, means whatever the crop we cut down from the field, that grains contain lot of moisture. Moisture means water content, and this moisture promote the growth of bacteria and fungi. So before storing, these grains are dried in the sun to remove excess moisture. Then storing is done either on a small scale. In domestic level, they are stored in metallic bins by putting dried neem leaves. Then, or they are stored in gunny bags or silos, that large grain leaves. And they are in that grain leaves, the grains are protected from rats and insects through chemical treatment. So now we have studied all the basic steps of crop production. Now one more thing that I already explained you in the starting, that agriculture includes domestication of animals also. That is rearing of animals on a large scale with proper food, shelter and care is called animal husbandry. Animals reared at home in the farms have to provide with proper food, shelter and care. When it is done on a large scale, it is called animal husbandry. As we have already started about pisciculture, apiculture. Pisciculture means that large scale rearing of fish. Then apiculture, large scale rearing of honeybees to obtain honey. So these are the certain methods that are followed in animal husbandry. So children, I hope now this topic will be clear to you all and you can study properly. Thank you.